Welcome everyone to this new Adobe Live show. This is day 3 of Editorial Design with Brett Newman. Hey Brett.
Hey guys.
Good to see you again.
Yeah, thanks for having me back.
And thanks for joining. We had an amazing week so far with 4 guests. We'll be live for 8 hours. Okay, Brett is our first guest, and then we'll welcome Ryan Lowe for 2 hours. Maud will be back, and we'll end the day with Marcel. As every day, we will do giveaways, we give away posters, and also just stay active in the chat, okay? You will see how it works. And we have our daily challenge. So I will give you more details in about 10 minutes, but today they have to design a business card.
All right, nice.
And it will be based on the InDesign template, a free one available on Adobe Stock. All the details are in the contest tab. But thanks very much for joining. I see Tyrone. Tyrone is back.
Hey, Tyrone.
Tyrone, thanks for being back. Laura, thanks for being back.
Laura
Kevin.
too.
Yeah, good to see you. It's always good to see faces over the 3 days because you can really enjoy the full process. And Brett, maybe before explaining what you have been working on over the 3 days, I would like you to introduce yourself again.
Sure.
And maybe we can discover a new project. Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, great.
Let's do that.
Hi everyone again. For those of you that are just tuning in, my name is Brett Newman, like Michael said, and I currently work as the design director at Hybrid Design here in San Francisco.
Yeah. How is the atmosphere at Hybrid today?
Quiet. The doors are locked and the lights are off. No one's there.
Yeah, they had their holiday party last night.
Yep. Finished it off, and we'll be back in the new year.
They just finished like 30 minutes ago. So
Yeah.
it's just coming straight from the party.
He's kidding, by the way.
Yeah, no. It's a very serious company.
So let's see. At Hybrid, we do a bunch of different stuff, a lot of different mediums. Just a quick kind of view of what goes on. We do a lot of print still, which we're really lucky to do, and we also get to do some big experience design.
It was in San Francisco.
This was in San Francisco. Yeah, we can look at this quickly. It's not totally related to editorial design, but I think it's a peek at what the principles you learn in school and work with every day can apply to different types of mediums.
Okay.
So this is a project from Nike, obviously. What the project was this was for a launch or relaunch of one of their old shoes from the 90s called the Foamposite. So they were relaunching some new colorways, and they wanted to make a big event of it. And they've done this before, where they plant a big sneaker box somewhere, and it happens in New York and all over the world, and then the sneaker box is covered with LED screens. So we got to basically have a 3-dimensional box to play with for animation.
Wow.
So we partnered with an agency in the UK called Golden Wolf for the animation.
Okay.
And they're
Golden
really
Wolf?
Golden Wolf, yeah. Golden Wolf TV might be the.
Let me check these guys.
Yeah, they're great. So what we did is, you might recognize some of the stuff.
Yeah. Okay.
So obviously the outside was huge and a big screen, and we developed these little shorts basically that would play in a loop that would kind of reveal pieces of the shoe, and then the really crazy fun part was to do the inside of the box. So the idea that we were launching with these Foamposites was, at the time, this material that they used on the shoe was like kind of space age and didn't really feel like it should be the outside of a shoe. So we took that sort of, at face value and used that for inspiration for the inside of the.
It was inside.
So when you line up and get your tickets for the launch, you are able to go inside the shoe box and get a little bit of history here on the floor of some of the old Foamposites, and then the ones that are being launched are up here in these little space capsules.
So how do you? So how does it work on the floor? Is it like a
down here
sticker on glass, or?
These are real shoes, so we just basically elevated the floor.
Okay. And how do you print the information?
So all this stuff is vinyl printed down here, and then and then the shoe just placed, and then glass over top. So as you walk in, you get reminded that these shoes were molded of molded of foam, basically. So we have these little cookie cutters that we used. That we use for like a facade on the wall.
So nice.
And these nice, we literally took the shapes from the shoe and really blew them up and used them here on the walls. So you get this sort of weird Stanley Kubrick sort of space thing going on, and we get to elevate these shoes and really show off their uniqueness.
And these shoes, they give you superpower, or
you can jump really high.
You can jump high.
That's
it.
That's basically it. That's basically all you need. So that's an example of some of the stuff we do at Hybrid. This is a little bit more closer to what we're going to be talking about today. We've looked at some other quarterlies this week, but each of them is so different in form and concept that I think it's a pretty nice series to talk about. We produce these pieces for Mohawk Paper, and it's something that you can get in the mail if you sign up. If you sign up online, and we produce one every quarter based around a theme. And the theme was beauty. So we kind of took a look at that concept and thought about the format and decided, as a group of designers, like, what's more beautiful than a really big poster? And, in our world, it doesn't get much better than that. So what we decided to do was, instead of making a book, we would break up the content into individual posters. So you'll see this is just basically an envelope here, and then it holds the posters underneath. And then also, it doesn't get much more amazing than rainbow foil instead of printing on the cover.
Nice.
So there's not a lot of projects that you get to use rainbow foil. No. So try. We've been trying for years, and it finally came to fruition in this project. It's just an amazing material.
So when you work with a printer, to do foil, what do you give him in the InDesign?
So basically,
like this shape, for instance, like the half circle.
So we create this whole piece of artwork in Illustrator. And then use it the same way that you would artwork in InDesign. But what we do when we have a special process like this is we put it on a layer. And that layer is labeled foil, do not print. So it's clear that nothing's going to be printed, and it's clear that there's a material choice in play other than the process. So it's like leaving little notes like that in your files for the printer can really help production be a lot smoother.
Nice.
Yeah. So we basically, each poster was an article, more or less, and something focused around the idea of beauty. This first one was about brutalism architecture, and sort of talking about the fact that when it first came out, it was seen as not very beautiful. It was seen as grotesque and a little jarring. And then, after a while, that sort of came full circle in people's minds to, the juxtaposition between these weird buildings and the landscape actually did create something beautiful. So we featured a photographer that shoots these type of buildings all over the world, and have a nice map here.
Wow. Nice.
And then you'll see this is just the front and the back of the sheets as we go here.
Yeah. These posters. I see.
These are all, but what happens is they unfold
with the different papers.
All of them have different papers, different printing techniques.
It's a great showcase, man, for them.
Yeah, totally. And then they unfold and they become an editorial in the first fold. And then we get some heavy copy and content in here, and then there's a little detail, that rainbow foil you can see. It's just like really awesome materials. And then what happens?
Do you know what is the process of foil? Like what the printer has to do?
They basically, it's a lot like letterpress basically. So you have to make a plate in the same way that you do for letterpress, and then it's a heat and pressure process. So they have this really thin layer of metallic foil in this case.
So you put it on the full
Yeah, I can't
Paper?
say whether they put it on the plate or on the paper, but
Okay. And
it's
then
somewhere
you
between the
press?
plate and the paper. And then you press and heat is applied, and then the foil transfers into the paper.
Paper, and the rest you remove.
And the rest comes out, yeah.
Is
Yeah.
it manual, like for each? Or they can do it.
They can do it, yeah.
They can automate
Most
it?
people automate it, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah. I'm not sure. Maybe when it gets really complex like this, I might need a hand.
Yeah, maybe for detail. Yeah, because
Yeah.
look at the details
Yeah,
here.
in the space in
Oh
between
my
here.
God.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. So basically, at the end of each of these posters, they fold out into, here's an example of the big 24 by 36 posters that it folds out to.
Mm-hmm.
So at the end of each article, you flip, 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 and then at the end is one giant poster. So everyone
Hi,
that got...
Shreyon. We have Shreyon joining us.
Hello.
Hello, thanks for joining.
Hi.
We're live with Brett, showcasing his work, and then we work on the book. But thanks for watching.
Yeah, thanks.
And Kevin also, he says thank you for my socks.
Oh,
Because we shipped some XD
Nice.
socks
XD
and
socks?
posters. You received them. Okay, cool, Kevin. Awesome.
great. Cool.
These projects are so... I mean, beside the editorial content and how you can play with the layout, you can also experiment so many printing processes.
Yeah, the materials are really important
So
for
good.
us there.
So it's a great showcase for them. It's also a great showcase for your agency.
Yeah, I think so.
Like for customers, yeah, this is what
Yeah.
we can do. And you're like, wow.
Yeah, Mohawk uses these for sales materials, and it's a much more interesting sales material than a brochure that says what type of papers
Yeah.
they have. We
And it's inspiring.
do it in practice, and yeah, it's worked out really well.
Wow.
Okay,
So good,
cool.
so good.
So
Okay.
that's a little breakdown of the work that I'm fortunate enough to do.
Do you want to recap what we have been working on?
Yeah, let's
And,
do it.
I want to do a special shout out to Oddfellows, which is the agency. They created this animation, at the beginning of the Adobe Live show.
Yeah.
And this is the first time we try our new animated
Oh,
lower
yeah.
third.
Great.
This beauty with the spinning
There are
planets.
orbs.
Ooh, so
Nice.
smooth. Yeah. Oddfellows. Good
Way
job.
to go, guys. Okay, so a little recap. So we've started a couple days ago on the idea of a magazine, and this magazine currently for this event is going to showcase 3 photographers. And I think the concept of the magazine could extend beyond just photographers. Something to give creative professionals a stage and a chance to talk about their work and display things that they're interested in. And we've named it Assemblage. So we talked about the name a little bit. The assemblage is the act of putting things or people together. So I think it's a really sort of a no-brainer idea behind the magazine, is really like bringing this diverse group of people and artists together. We talked a little bit about the size that we want it to be. A little bit of talk about benefits of, if we go to a smaller zine size or if we stay a traditional larger magazine size, and I decided to keep it a little bit large, so like almost 12 by 9.5, just so we can get a traditional magazine feel as we go through it. And then the binding we talked about as well. We're gonna perfect bind this instead of saddle stitch, which you would generally do for zines. Perfect bind gives a little bit more substantial feel to the book and have a little bit more premium associated with it. And we picked the name and just kind of a short look at the amount of content that we're gonna have in here. So since that happened, we've been working a little bit on the layout and the covers here. So I think just getting rid of some pages we don't need. So we did a little on the first day. We did a little presentation and asked the chat what covers they were liking. And most of the votes came in for covers 2 and 3 over here. So after some experiments with type and layout, we've landed on these guys. And I think I'm not totally ready to make a decision on it yet, but I think what we're going to try to do is pick one and then do a cover in 3 different versions so we can showcase our 3 photographers. And that way when we print, You know, when we print a bunch of
good idea.
magazines, we have a nice variation, and people will be sort of surprised at the cover they might get.
That's nice. And maybe you can keep the color and the same per issue, but change.
Yeah, exactly.
Awesome.
So we got our covers here. We started in a little bit here on.
Roxanne is asking, does the printer do the imposition?
I'm not sure what you mean by imposition, Roxanne. Could
If you can give us more details about what you mean.
So here we have a little bit. Oh, you're gonna talk about?
No, just if you can recap and before you start working on something new, I will talk about the contest.
Great. So here we put together a little bit of an intro to the magazine, something that, you know, in the first issue of publications, we like to sort of introduce the concept and say why we're here and why we're doing what we're doing. So because of that, we used a nice big typeface to just sort of make this statement when you first open the book. And then we have an in-process TOC right here that we can, if we have some time, we'll go back and finesse this a little bit. But right now there are only 3 features. So we've gone in and, you know, adjusted some type to read as the titles being underlined and a little bit of contrast to a smaller page size here. And then as we go in, we were working on our first feature here, which is by a photographer named Jake Stengel, who shot the lookbook for Rafa, which is a cycling company. So we've set up our grid here. We're working on a really flexible 12-column grid and currently using a 3-column setup, but you don't always need to use all 3 columns. That's a good thing to remember, and it leaves space and it allows the negative space to be really active. So going from a content-heavy spread into something a little bit more full bleed for our pacing to allow the reader to breathe a little bit, and, you know, us too as we go along. And then this was where we left off yesterday, so we can pick right back up after we talk about, I think, the challenge for today.
Yeah, so the challenge for today, it's really for you to get a chance to win a Creative Cloud subscription, and if you're already a Creative Cloud member, you can extend your membership. And it's super easy. You check the contest tab and you can download a free InDesign template, which is available on Adobe stock. And it's not the only one. You will see there are a lot of templates. On the first day, we did holiday cards. Yesterday, it was more challenging. It was an art magazine. So today, we will end with something easier, but it's not that easy because you will have to present information. And I guess that we want to be surprised by the way you display information. Remember, it's a business card, so it needs personality. You know, we need to understand. I mean, beyond just the name and the title and the address. You know, what is the DNA? You know, of this person, like the emotion behind. If it's for a bank, it has to be solid and serious. If it's for a clone, it has to be fun and playful. So make sure to match the title with the design. Okay. I think this is something we can judge, and it will be super fun.
Yeah.
So you have the link in the contest tab. You open it in InDesign. Very, very simple template, but feel free to change the typeface, change the color. It's not necessarily for you. It could be for anyone. You can take a personality, maybe a celebrity, and create the business card. It could be fun. And to share it with us, just click on Publish Online. Okay, so it will create a web experience that you can share with us. So this is what we will review at the end of the show.
Yeah.
I think Janine was mentioning in the chat something, and it's very interesting. So with Publish Online, what you can do also is access the Publish Online dashboard. And it's a way to manage all your documents, but also to have analytics. So you know the average read time, where people are watching your.
Oh wow! Yeah, that's great.
How many readers you got? So of course, like my documents are not very successful. I had only one reader. I think it's me. Yeah. But then you can access document trends. Oh, here we go. You can access all your documents. So this is basically how you manage your publications. Okay.
Great.
And this is how you can delete a publication. And embed a publication on Behance, share it with someone. So
awesome.
Very nice.
Okay.
That's nice. You like it. Okay, so yeah, business card. I think it will be cool. Okay.
Yeah. Don't be
Easy.
afraid to turn it landscape either. Not all
Yeah.
business cards have to be the same way.
Good tip. Maybe have a custom shapes.
Custom
Yeah.
shape would be kind of crazy.
Yeah, it would be crazy. But again, if you make some design choices, it has to match with the personality of the person featured on the business card.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll pay attention to that. Awesome.
Great. All right, so I think we're just going to do one more spread in this feature, and we're going to move on to the next. So, so on this spread, I want to showcase a little bit more, maybe of the of sort of the day-to-day life of these people that he shot. Sorry, let me get that forward. So adding in some things that maybe are not totally obviously reminiscent of cycling, but maybe the things that you get to experience while you're doing that. So maybe a couple cafe photos. And we learned yesterday after some research that they're in Antwerp in this photo shoot.
Yeah, it's in Belgium. Yeah.
Yeah.
We had some.
Someone recognized the train.
Investigators.
Yeah.
And they recognized the bee on the train, which was a good clue. I mean, like.
Yeah.
Bee Belgium is. Makes sense.
Let's see. I might want to off. Like a little bit of space in there. And then one thing I think we could do, we could add a pull quote here. So let's say,
Hi, Sungwon. Thanks for watching. Sungwon, who's watching from Korea. What time is it in Korea, Sungwon? Let us know. It's like 2 a.m. Oh my God.
yeah, what you doing?
Sungwon, what's happening tonight? Hi, Anne-Marie. Thanks for joining. We have an InDesign expert in the chat. If you want to ask questions to Anne-Marie. Anne-Marie
great.
Conception.
All right, let's sign this up a little bit. So we worked on this a little bit yesterday, but reminding everyone to hang their punctuation when they have nice, big, beautiful pull quotes like this.
It's a funny trick.
Oh, what's that? I forgot an I.
And was it with you where we... And it was with Mode. Like we discovered that you can create animations, in InDesign, that.
No, I don't.
And when you publish online, so we can try maybe at the end, just to publish it online as an example.
Sure.
But you will see, we can create an animation so you can move from the left and fade.
As you go through the publication?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's
That's
so
right.
easy to create. It's awesome. And I saw that now the viewers, they start adding animations. Yeah, it's very fun.
Good trick. Yeah, cool. So we're going to take one last... Maybe we hang this one up here. And then we do... Not quite on the grid here.
Hello, Leila. Thanks for watching.
Okay, that's looking pretty good.
Leila, are you watching us from Russia? Awesome. Daryl is asking, how do you get the page text to line up at the footer? I always get it wrong. Line up at the footer.
Like down here?
Oh.
It depends. We're not using a baseline grid right now, but if you do have your baseline grid turned on, there is an option to, let's see in the paragraph, there's an option to align it. So that's not what we want right now, because my baseline grid does not match up with the leading. And that's something that we, after we get the broad strokes of the magazine done and the big,
Once you have the final content.
Yeah, we go back through and make sure our alignments are right, and we're using all the grids that we need to. Smart quotes, got it. Stories, is this smart enough, Mitch?
Maybe it's for the don't you think so, because there is no...
This?
Triggered by that it's missing an E in coffee.
Oh my god, we have the...
Eagle eyes.
Yeah.
Nice. See, I haven't finished mine yet, so don't blame me.
Don't check.
Okay, I think that looks really good. I think it's a nice balance between
nice
photo and
base
type. What we do need is probably a credit over here.
Hi, Nastia.
Which is good, so we give a shout out to our photographers.
Nastia, who is also a designer in Russia. Awesome.
Oh, hello.
Sarah, thanks for joining us. Sarah Bell, who will be our guest in January.
Oh, great.
Yeah, in the Vector Art live stream. And,
Awesome.
she will create infographics in Illustrator on the maps, because there is a plugin in Illustrator to import maps. It's a plugin by Esri, E-S-R-I, and she's a designer at Esri. So
Awesome. I put this here. You guys like that? Is that where it goes?
now they feel better. Way better.
Okay.
Copy editors.
Thank you, copy editors. All right, moving on. So we've just finished.
And Mary's like, thank you, Jesus, for adding the apostrophe. Yeah. She was freaking out, like she was running in her apartment.
Yeah, like banging pots together and stuff.
She can get very emotional.
Okay, so we're gonna change up the feature now. So now we are going to do a feature. Actually, let me do a feature by a photographer called Brian Sheffield.
Okay.
And his work is a series of images. Let's just show you here. Where he shot the hip hop group Odd Future.
It's a nice.
So we get spending some time with these guys, like acting silly in the arcade and doing shenanigans. Air hockey, love air hockey. I was just at an arcade last night, hitting the swooshes. So it's a.
And Shevan has a question for you, because Shevan is always training to work out on the font size. Cannot get a sense on scale on the screen. So you have a tip, to get used to finding the right font size.
Yeah, that's a tough one when you're just working on screen. Generally, what we do in the office would be to work on a design for a little while and then print a page at 100%. So then you hold the paper and you can tell, whether it's too big. Because when you're working on a little MacBook screen or a big screen, the distortion of scale is, pretty great. And this may seem too small, but when you look at it printed off, 9-point is very, very legible. So it's stuff that we do as we go along to sort of ensure ourselves that we're doing the right thing. If you don't have access to a printer, I mean, you could more or less, look at your design at 100% and try to judge it from there. But it's pretty hard to do, especially for a print piece, if you don't have it.
So print as much as you can first to get used to just to the balance and choosing the right text size. I think there's no choice.
Yep. Agreed.
Same, like when you design for mobile screens, like preview on the mobile device.
Yep.
You have no choice. It's the only way. Like we have the same issue with the XD. When we, but there is live preview with XD. So as you design, you can check. And
that's great.
And every time we get caught, like every time we design, no, it's too small.
And you're like, oh, can't read that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's always important to check, that real life scenario that it's going to live. So what's going on here? We are moving to a new feature, and this feature is going to be an interview. So what I like to do in editorial pieces where we have a change of content, so we're going now from an interview or from a regular feature to an interview, I like to change the paper a lot of times and also the layout to signify that it's a new
type of content.
A new type of content.
Amazing.
Sorry.
And Lisa is asking, so we have a lot of questions today. So.
Yeah, sure.
Which is awesome. Do you have some don'ts? Like do not do that when it comes to alignments.
Alignments.
We talked a little bit about it yesterday, where you said that don't rely too much on the align tool.
Yeah.
Because you have to please the eye.
Absolutely. So here's an example of actually what we were talking about was up here, I think. Oh yeah,
here.
Right here.
Yeah.
So here's an example where if we align these text boxes to the margin, like the computer says they're supposed to be aligned, we get this weird space here, and it's different with every typeface. You get a little bit of different space between the bounding box here. So something that we did yesterday was use our eyes. So when we go, sorry, lost you. When we go and just do it visually, we bring our big type that your eye is going to see first to the margin, and then we visually align the secondary piece of information here. So I think I said last time, like if you drew a ruler here, it wouldn't exactly meet up, and it's not mathematically aligned. But when you look at it, from the reader's distance, it appears that way. And that's especially the case when you have rounded characters like O's and G's and U's, is they don't have that sharp right angle to align to. So you have to always use your eye and cheat it until it feels right. And that's a lot
because
like
it would be a H here, maybe it would be different.
Right,
like
right.
Instead of replacing the
So if it
on the hound, I don't know if it takes.
Yeah, on the hound. So it's always like the alignment tools and the mechanics of InDesign can get you really far, but to really make something finessed and feel natural, you're gonna have to rely on your eyeballs.
Awesome.
Okay, so like I was saying, changing layout and paper for new types of content. I really like pink paper. Okay. I think it's an unexpected encounter for a lot of people in magazines, and especially I think it's gonna marry pretty well with the tones in these silly photos. There's purple and pinks going on here, and it's just like it'll be a nice sort of youthful look in here. So. I think there's a question earlier about this gutter here that I put on. I think Andre answered for us. Thank you, Andre.
Maybe you can repeat what this is.
Yeah. So basically, what we like to do, I didn't put it on the master yet. What we like to do at Hybrid is, it's on another layer. Sorry. I added a gutter layer here, so I'll turn it on and off, and you can see it kind of come on. Which is basically just a simple gradient in InDesign that denotates where the gutter on the magazine might be. We do this both to get the feel of an actual book as we're designing, and to remember that with a perfect bound book, you're gonna lose information in the gutter. So we're not going to put anything important underneath this shadow, and nobody's face is going to cross the gutter and be cut off. So it's just a reminder that this is a real thing as we go along.
A dangerous space. Yeah.
Yes, very dangerous. So we're going to take.
But of course, it's not something you will print.
Nope, we'll turn off. So if this was a production file, we would probably get rid of it. But I also, when there are things we don't want to print, I literally write them in. Nice. Let's say, we'll do this so no one freaks out about apostrophes. Do not print, really big, and and even sometimes we go write it over here for the printer, so it's like very, very clear that green gutter layer does not print. But for now, it's totally fine. We'll remember it's there. So let's go back to art. So we're gonna get pretty. I think we can get kind of fun with this one. Loosen up the system a little bit. So the benefits of of a 12-column grid is that it allows us to be flexible in our layouts, and we don't necessarily need to be strict with the amount of columns that we're using. It's always going to be divisible, but we can get a little
Hi, Gusten.
looser.
Thanks for joining. So we're working with Brett. This is the day 3 of a live stream on editorial design, and working on this publication featuring 3 photographers. And now he's working on layout to display an interview.
Someone wanted me to have high quality display on here. You can see a little bit better. I usually work with it on typical, so the files move a little faster. But let's see if we can.
For the stream it's better. Yeah, because Laura was like, oh, everything is pixelated. So that's
Sorry, just a habit.
That's the display preference that you have. You can have it also on each element, like you can decide, I think. But depending on the computer. But you have a MacBook Pro, so in this case, I think it behaves very good, like in a high quality for the preview.
Once you get to some like 100-page magazines and it's on high quality.
And maybe we can remind them, like, because they see the texture, like the paper. So this is something. Was it on the first day? Yeah, I think so. Like you pick this texture on Adobe stock.
Yes.
Paper texture, also to get a better feel on how, especially the pictures would behave.
Yep.
With some paper and texture.
Just another sort of detail that you can add to kind of remind you that you're designing something real, and it's gonna be tangible also. So let's see, might do something like this. Just kind of cool. So if when type gets really big, it almost becomes like kind of not like type, which is cool. It just becomes graphic, which I like, so I might stretch this up here, and then I'm gonna grab subtitle. And we'll change the color here in a minute too. So, photos by Brian Sheffield. So let's kind of get a sense. I might start with that photo that we used on the cover, just to give us a nice way to play. So I think we can probably actually first. Purple on pink is kind of cool.
Hi, Alexander.
Yeah, nice too. Hello.
Mustard is back.
The mustard.
Yeah.
Well, maybe like it a little bit darker. So these colors for now I'm just eyedropping. I kind of like that being tonal. When we get a little bit farther along in the process, we would go back and either adjust this to be the CMYK build that we're looking for, or spec a Pantone color for our printer. So what I'm gonna do here is just, since this is so big, the type on the left, I'm gonna use a little bit of contrast here and take this down a notch to kind of sit on our hang line. Let's see. Get rid of that little crack. That's center there. Let's go ahead and just make this black. And then let's grab one of these. Whoops. See, I hit that thing again. We learned what that was yesterday too, right? That. Collection dialogues.
Yeah, it's back. The B.
Let's change this up a little bit. All right, so we get a nice bold opening here, and we kind of like can set the tone for the interview as we go along. I like this weird lavender color, so I'm just gonna pull a swatch so we can use it later. And that feels pretty good.
good, huh?
That's
Yeah.
pretty fun.
Yeah.
And gives a nice contrast to, you know, something a
Yeah.
little bit more serious here. So we start to get a little looser. And you know that it's getting looser as we turn to a pink paper and colors change, and that we're gonna expect a different type of layout. So, what I think I want to do for interview type styles is change it up a little bit and go to a 2-column. So, because we're on a 12-column grid, we're able to be flexible like this. I'm just going to take some predetermined lorem ipsum and drop them in here.
Alexander is asking, is Brett working on a tablet? So yeah, he's using a Wacom.
I am.
Classic Intuos Pro.
Yep.
Yeah.
A big one. It's probably bigger than I need, but I like it. All personal preference at that point. I know great designers who use about everything you can think of, even the trackpad.
HTB2 is asking, did he make a work before he come or just like this? No, I think he's experimenting live, you know,
Yep.
trying some.
I put together some copy
Positions.
before we came, but layouts are all happening with you guys. So, hoping to give you guys a sense of the iteration and the time it takes to craft some really nice layouts. I think, you know, if I had even more time, we would go back through and do passes again to adjust and refine. But for right now, I think we're doing great. So I'm going to go to a 2-column grid for this interview, and we're going to look at a little bit how we will denotate who's speaking. So we're going to pretend that this is the question that's being asked. That's not Minion. Why? Oh, maybe it is. Let me change that.
Talking about mustard.
Oh, there you go. Love it. Yeah, it should be GT Sectra. Let's see. Cool. So, I'm gonna, since this is a secondary type style, I'm gonna bump the size up a little bit.
Okay.
And then what we're gonna do is just kind of add some secondary bits in here. So we're gonna use bold to denotate a question that the interviewer is asking, and then the light is gonna be the answer. So we'll be able to understand as we go through the interview who is talking. Yeah, and we get a little hierarchy there. So
Nice.
we're gonna do a return between each question.
And stay tuned, we will give away some posters, illustrations created on Adobe Live during this show with, it was by Robzilla, Jingwei, Christine Herring. So stay tuned, we will give away these posters in about 15 minutes
Awesome.
to someone in the chat. So make sure to sign in and say something to get a chance to receive these posters. We just had Kevin saying, hey, I just received my posters. So
Nice.
it's real. Oh, did you give the poster to Frederic?
Yes,
Today?
I did.
Yeah?
Yeah, when I got
She was
there.
happy?
Yeah, she was excited. Great, a special delivery.
Yeah, on a bike.
Yeah. All right, so I'm gonna add an image here to break up our interview, and we're going across the gutter, so, dangerous territory here, but I think we'll be able to. There's actually a nice split in the photo. Maybe a nice split where we can maybe get it there and crop it a little bit. So we might lose that guy. Maybe we change.
I want to sleep here. There.
Yeah, we could push it over even more. I want to see the whole group, so maybe we just make it even bigger. Maybe it's not the right time to cross the gutter. See, we don't always get it on the first try. Let's pull it down here. Okay, cool. And then let's say
Steve is asking, can we submit a couple different designs to the contest? So Steve, rather than submitting several entries, try to do all your alternates, like all your proposals of design in the same project. Okay, so you can duplicate the spread, the business card, and if you want to try 2 or 3 different designs, but make them in the same project. It will be easier for us to review. And so far, they're still working on the business cards, still waiting for the first entry.
Should be easier than yesterday, right?
Mm-hmm.
Faster, at least.
Laura, your graphic is still pixelated. So from Illustrator, try to export to a different format, maybe. It really depends on your source illustration, so it's hard to tell on the chat, but try to export a big PNG. I don't know, a transparent PNG, and place it in InDesign. Hussein is asking, are the photos that you're using are CMYK or RGB?
Probably right now they are RGB.
Yeah, so what comes from...
So
what is the status today, like with printers and stuff? Is it a big deal?
It's not a huge deal. I think it's a printer by printer basis. Generally, people want you to have your images in CMYK before you submit to a printer. Mm-hmm. We work with a printer in New Jersey called Sandy Alexander on a lot of our projects, and they're really interested in color management and the science of like pushing ink to sort of do things that you might not expect. And they actually asked us to give files in RGB, so they can get a sense of the power of the real image on screen, and then they can do their magic to convert to print.
They can take care of it.
But when you're sending it to most regular printers, they'll want it's going to go through a machine, and if it's RGB, they're going to say, sorry, we can't do that. But it's important. There's a lot of
conversation with the printer, I guess.
Exactly, and there's a lot of different conversions that will either benefit or reduce the quality of your image as well. So it's an important thing to talk about.
So we had some questions. Our Hermias from the UK, you were asking, is there any way I can add future events on my calendar automatically to get notified? So if you want to be notified when we go live, the best way is to subscribe to our program. So if you already did, then you receive an email every time we go live, okay? And we explain what is the topic, etc. We don't have an add to calendar feature. To be honest, this is something we had, and we noticed that only a very few users were using this feature, so we decided not to put it back. But if you check the schedule tab, so you will have the dates and you can create your own notifications, or you can subscribe and we send you an email. I think it's the best way to be notified. It's easier. We had other questions too. So Ihejo, we want you to create your business card, use the publish online. Okay, it will create the web experience, it will keep your animation, and this is what you share with us in the form. Okay, don't share a PDF. Dira is from New Jersey. She said, what's the name of the printer again?
Sandy Alexander. They're in Clifton, New Jersey. Great people over there.
What's them?
Yes, you got it.
Yeah. Sandy Alexander.
Yep, for all your printing needs.
Have a nice logo.
Mm-hmm.
Fancy.
Yeah. Yeah, they get it. It's really refreshing and important when printers sort of understand the design world and vice versa. And Sandy is someone that does very well. So we love working with them.
Kabir is saying, what's the best way to make images to 300 dpi? My printer always asks me to convert images to 300 dpi.
Mm-hmm. So why don't I can give you guys a little look at how we do it. So it's always sort of a sensitive piece of work to do because you can lose quality as you up-res. And it's ideal if you can get a higher quality image from your photographer or from your client. But if you can't, I know it happens a lot. A couple of tricks that we use is, and it's kind of standard practice. If you go to a professional retoucher, there will be something secret that they do. But for in the studio, we always just whenever we're working on this sort of thing, like it's important just to save a different version. We duplicate the master layer, so then if we make an adjustment we don't like, we can always come back to the original. So basically, you go up here when you're in Photoshop and you do image size. And right now the resolution is 300. But let's say we want to get it to 350 for some reason.
Okay.
What we do is go by percentage, and we do 10% increasements at a time. So what that does is when you increase the up-res, the Photoshop resamples the colors and puts them back together to be higher res. So when you do this in small increments, it becomes a smoother transition rather than just going from 150 to 300. It's a really big jump. You might get some problems going on. And another thing we do is, this photo was taken on film, so it already has a little bit of noise in it, which is good for up-resing. What we do in this case is every time we up-res, we just add a small amount of noise. And what that does is basically, mechanically separate the pixels, and it makes it a little less obvious that you're enhancing the image. So it makes it a little bit smoother. So that's one step, and it takes a little while, but you go in and we do another 110%. We get a little bigger. We might not need noise this time because you can see in his face it's already pretty apparent. And then at this point, let's see where we're at. And then you'd go back in InDesign, and in your information panel here, it'll tell you the different types of resolution. So effective PPI is the pixels per inch that you have in layout. So if I were to drop this image in and not resize it, it would be the actual, which is 300.
Okay.
But now that I've stretched it up and it's a full bead image, that's what we call the effective resolution. And this one is a little bit low.
Okay.
So if this were a real project, I would do this process a couple times, save it as an up-res version. Yep, and just check back and forth until you reach. There might be a more elegant way to do this, but I think, again, it's using our eye, and what we're trying to do is see these changes. So we go back and forth and do it small adjustments until we hit our 300 mark. And then it looks beautiful. So we're not gonna do that right now, but that's just how we do it.
We have Rob Generate in the chat. Thanks for joining, Rob.
Hello, Rob.
If you want to win a poster created live on an iPad by Rob Generate, this is the Mr. T. Stay tuned. We will do a giveaway in about 5 minutes. Random giveaway to someone in the chat.
I'm not gonna multiply that. A little too pink on the screen. All right, so after our first couple spreads of the interview or reading text, it's nice to get a nice a full bleed image here to, again, kind of like the last issue, for a little bit of pacing. And this is a great group shot, and it fits really nicely into gutter here. So we're gonna have everybody in the photo. No one's gonna be cut off except for a little leg here, and that just gives us a little breathing room as we go through. And then let's see. What else do we want to...
Hi Derek, thanks for watching. Thanks for the nice feedback. Jimmy's asking, do you use a font manager?
In the past I have. I'm not using one right now. Font Explorer is one that I've used in the past. When we're working on projects like this, it's generally the case that people already have the fonts, and if not, we trade package files from InDesign, so that already has the font embedded. So if it definitely works if we're only like a 20-person studio. So if you're a bigger agency and you can't just yell to someone from across the room, having a program like that is really helpful.
And you need to manage licenses too,
right?
Like when you have 200 designers.
Yeah, exactly. You have to.
You need to be very careful with the license. Because remember that a typeface requires a lot of work, a lot of design work, sometimes 2 or 3 years. So it's like a picture photographer. Remember that typeface is a piece of work. So always check the license and make sure to reward the designer. And there is Typekit now. If you want to free your mind about the license, Typekit really introduced this way of subscribing to typefaces and the licenses for your websites, because using a typeface on a website, it's a different license than using it in a print project. And then there is a different license if you use it in an app on iOS. So make sure I'll always check with the foundry, what type of license you can use, what's the price. And if it's expensive, remember that you can charge your customer for it. You should. They should have the license.
So Brian sent me a little group of photos here in a sequence, and it's basically, a little
wow.
It's almost like a GIF if you go through it.
That's funny.
But it's a number of images that we can
do a strip.
Yeah, we can do a strip with, and I think. I think using it in place of a type column would be an interesting way to do it. So let's see, we might want it to be a little smaller so we can fit some more. So maybe we push it over here.
Nice. And yesterday we were showing with Maud how you can put boxes and directly import 5 pictures and pick where you want to place them. Have you tried that?
I don't think so.
Okay, I can show you. It's fine.
Sweet, let me just put this.
One more.
This one in
and
there.
for the 2, you wanted to do 2 more? Okay, can you just use the or this one? Yeah, and just add 2.
2 there. Let's actually do this. So we didn't quite get our spacing right.
Yeah, but
let's,
you can distribute later, I guess.
Let's do that.
There you go.
Okay, we got our boxes here.
You go in the Finder. And let's take 5.
You select?
Yeah, 5, and you drag and drop here. Okay, so now it's in the clipboard, and using the arrow keys.
Oh wow!
You select the one you want to.
Huh?
See what I mean?
Look at that, tricks.
He's
Give
dancing.
you the number? Yeah, that's funny. Let me see that. No. Animation. And then we
and again with the arrow keys. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Cool. Good tricks. Let's see. Do we do that in the right order though?
It has to look good.
Close. Yeah. All right, and then let's.
Nice. we start receiving some entries? You know, so today we invite you to
great.
design business cards. So just to give you a teaser of what we will review at the end. You know, so this is the type of business cards we'll review. Lego,
Great.
nice. Body evolution, okay. Oh, it's a personal coach. Okay, we'll discuss about it. You know, like what the spirit of the business card matches with a personal coach in this case. Here it will be the CEO of Snow. Okay,
Snowman.
Mr. Snowman. Cute. Ibrahim. So if I go back to the page there, this is the type of animation that you can create. You see?
Great.
So of course on the business card,
Sure.
they won't appear.
Sure.
But if you do an online publication, then you can add very easily. I will show you how animations. Awesome.
Great. Really cool.
So yeah, keep sharing, and we will review all your entries at the end of the show. And we will discuss your entries, and we will ask Brett, okay, which one do you want to reward? And you can get a chance to win a Creative Code subscription. And also time to get active in the chat. Okay, so we give you 2 or 3 minutes. Make sure to sign in, say something in the chat to get a chance to win these 3 posters. But you have to say something, maybe some feedback, something nice to Brett, something mean to me, whatever. Say something. Just say hi, hey. Make sure to sign in. Bernardo is asking, do you have any specific tips you would give for a product design catalog?
Product design catalog.
Yeah. Usually,
What type? Well, it's always important to know what type of products the catalog is for. We have Albany, New York. Nice. I'm from Rochester, so pretty close.
Awesome.
My sister went to Albany State. We are all over the place over there.
Where is the hovering art director? It's here.
There he is.
Okay, let's see what he thinks today.
Just trust me. I'm an artist.
We know.
Trust me. You'll thank me when we're in Cannes.
Ah.
This looks like a short list. I need it to be gold.
It looks like
Gold.
a short list.
Oh, yeah.
You see?
So what if all the text was purple?
And Ariel is asking you,
crazy?
which are your favorite types of project to work on?
My favorite types, obviously I love print design and editorial, but I think in general, projects where I get to work with friends or like people that are really, really passionate about what they're doing, makes work all the better. It makes us as designers better because we get to understand kind of intimately what the client wants, or what your friend's values lie. So it's a really nice relationship when someone is excited. But I think a lot of times those are print projects because people spend the time, and print costs money, and it's a lot of times not something that clients value as much as they should, we think. We have a lot of clients that do, but the world at large right now is rediscovering print, like we talked about yesterday another time. But it's really nice when you can get that relationship.
I think Mike has an idea in the chat. What did you say, Mike? On the photo strip page, I would flip to have the images on the insides of both pages.
Oh,
so
yeah?
they are so separated and allow the associations between the groups.
Let's try it.
Ah. So you know what I would do?
What would you do?
I would do a
flip book? Nice.
with
Yeah,
this
yeah.
in-
Yeah, that'd
you
be
see
cool.
him dancing. Like,
You could just put it in the corner here, so when you
Yeah.
flip the pages in the
You flip it,
magazine.
and you
Yeah,
can-
that's cool. Yeah,
it
Mike,
would
I
be
like that.
it would
That's
be
cool.
a huge book.
Yeah. Very,
Like that?
very
Okay.
symmetrical. Cool.
Thanks,
Looks
Mike.
good.
We have a winner for the posters, so if you want to announce the
We
winner,
do. Eric Bushman,
Yeah,
the
congrats,
winner.
Eric.
Way to go, Eric.
Eric, you will receive a private message on Behance, okay, today? Will it be today? Yeah, today. So make sure to check your messages and you will receive the posters. So in January, because there is the holiday break, but very soon, as soon as possible.
All right, I think we'll do one more spread in this feature, and then we can move to our other one.
Talking about Flipbook, once we had it was a motion design live stream, and we had James Curran, Slim Jim Studio, so he does amazing animations that are animated just but loops. You know,
Oh yeah,
loops.
yeah.
And
Does he do like running guys?
yeah, running guys, and
Seen
it's
those.
very very good. And as giveaways, we converted the animations he created live into flipbooks.
Oh,
So we
awesome.
found like someone like in Berlin, I think, producing flipbooks on demand.
That's great.
So we got a few and stuff. So we were so exciting, and we shipped the flipbooks to the winners in the chat. And then I discovered it was manual, and I think we were all the last project of this company.
Yeah,
It was like
nice.
a one-man company because now it disappeared. Like
Bummer.
I guess it was so hard, you know.
Yeah.
To print everything.
We just, I don't think I can talk too much about it, but we just did a flip book for a project at Hybrid,
Oh, okay.
which is really, really exciting.
It was fun.
Yeah, really fun. Like, never thought you would get to do stuff like that.
Awesome.
And like, you're like, oh, when I was a kid, I loved these things. Like, well, let's make one. That's a great part of being a designer, is all this fun stuff you think of when you're little, and then it comes back up, and you remember this one cool thing you saw once, and then it all goes crazy after that. Let's see. All right, just doing a last spread here. I think we'll end with a little bit more type. So what happened here? There we go. Let's get out of our sequence.
We have our friend Kabir in the chat. He was asking, like, he just released a magazine, like Design a Magazine.
Oh yeah.
He wanted to know if you could give some feedback.
Sure.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Want to do it now?
Sure.
So it's called Cosmitalk. If you have
Very
some
cool.
feedback on the cover, or
On the
things
cover?
you would work, or
Let's see. Very cool. Is this the logo on the corner is a sponsor probably?
oh, I guess it's
Or-
might be the magazine of this company.
Gotcha.
That would be my bet.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it depends on how you like this to feel. I think when you put logos on the covers of magazines, it makes them feel a little bit more like a catalog. So you may be expecting more of a product focus element when you open it.
Oh, here you see. Yeah.
yeah.
So that's definitely the
So I'm wondering, like, I know the client probably wants it, but if you can
challenge it.
challenge it and try to have them remove the logo from the cover and just get people interested based on the design and the imagery, and then you reveal who sponsors it or who makes it on the inside, that would be great. Unless it's supposed to be seen as a catalog, and then you're on your way.
It's more like a magazine.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Cool.
we won't discuss the topic. You know?
Sure.
but
So do these
Just the
colors?
layout?
Yeah. Do these colors signify anything else in the layout?
let's see.
That would be. There's
yeah.
some colors
yeah,
up
there's
here.
some. Yeah, we saw that. Okay. Oh, here maybe.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, I think on the TOC, if you're gonna use colors that boldly, it might be good to make it a little bit more of an obvious tie to the inside. So whether you change the color of the titles and the type inside the feature,
Oh, I see.
or some of the background colors, because
that
it might
it's
be
too-
hard. It
too
might
light.
be it might be easy to miss the little guys in the corner.
Cool.
Yeah, but overall, I think probably not many magazines based on this topic. So, keep
And
pushing
for
it.
this customer, so yeah.
Yeah, great.
Cool.
Good work.
Good work. And thanks for the quick feedback and
No
tips.
problem. All right, so gonna finish the issue here with a nice pretty standard look at these guys here. All right, and then since this is an interview, we get a lot of faces, a lot of personality here, and get a quick glimpse into, these. I don't think these guys perform together too much anymore, but back when these photos were taken, we'd get a good sense of their dynamic and how they behave together. So that's it for that feature. Let's move on to the next. Unless we have anything. You have submissions? Not yet, right? That's later.
Yeah, we do it later.
Gotcha.
They still have about 20 minutes to submit their
Great.
entries. So far, let me see. We got more than yesterday. Yesterday it was very changing.
All right.
We already have 7 entries, so keep sharing.
Great.
Oh, Kabir.
Love it.
He thanks, just saying thank you.
Oh, yeah,
Feedback.
no problem. Keep it up.
And by the way, so Adobe Live fans, we will do more official portfolio reviews next year.
Great.
So it will become a part of the show. So we will find a process so they can share their work and ask the guests to give feedback.
Great.
Yeah. So next year it will become more official, I would say,
Awesome.
during the show. When now it's a bit improvised.
All right. So our last feature here is by my friend Kenneth, who is a photographer and gave me a really cool series
Wow.
about Cape Cod, really, in
What is it?
New England. Cape Cod is a cape off the coast of Massachusetts.
Ah, okay.
Up in the
Boston, so
northeast. Yep. And it's a really cool sort of like has like a Jaws vibe,
Oh, yeah,
like
Jaws.
old vacation beach. A lot of harbors. See, swim at your own risk. We got sharks in the
Oh, good.
water. That's the Boston accent.
It's true.
Can you hear?
Can you do it again?
We got sharks in the water. Anybody from Boston out there?
Oh, yeah.
You do a bear? Cape Cod is superhero fish.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, good
So
one.
I'm
I
not
see.
able
Cape.
to identify accents
Oh,
in
yeah?
English. Yeah, I hear there's an accent,
You
but
hear that
I
it's
cannot
different?
tell you it's from Boston. it's
Boston
from,
can be, Jaws filmed in Martha's Vineyard, which is, really part of that whole system of islands and capes up there.
maybe the only one I can identify is the one from Baltimore, because I watch The Wire, and the accent is so
I never
thick,
would have,
you know?
I never would have picked out a Baltimore accent. I don't think.
No?
No, but hey, it takes,
cannot
it
do the
takes a
impression,
foreign
but-
ear to hear that.
Oh,
I
maybe,
guess.
yeah.
Yeah,
But
good.
in The Wire, it's so thick, the accent. Wow.
That's great. Great show though.
Oh, yeah.
So just kind of going through. Kenneth is from Portland and
Lobster.
lobster pots. Very very New England. So what I like about a lot of these photos is there's a lot of space.
Yeah.
And a lot of a really airy feeling. There's like parts of the lighthouse. This is Kenneth's mom in the woods. But even when we're seeing a lot of green, we get this really sort of bright, empty space, and things are a touch overexposed to feel a little bit lighter. So I think because of that, I wanna make sure to give all these photos lots of room around them and a little bit more of a classic layout.
Okay.
And because New England is just, it feels, there's a lot of history there and it feels old when you're there.
Okay.
I think maybe even flipping our type styles and using our serif as the lead
Oh.
instead of our sans serif
Interesting.
would be a good way to take a look at that.
Yeah, let's try.
Let's try it. So, I'm imagining here, and also, we've had a color associated with each
Yeah, series.
with each bit. We're gonna call this New England, and I think wrote a quick subtitle of "No Lifeguard on Duty." Seems kind of fitting, especially because this series is very devoid of human life,
Yeah.
which is interesting.
Except his mom.
Except his mom, and she's always there.
Living in the woods.
Yeah. But this must have been really early morning. Early morning is like some of the best time to capture photos because you get a really
Soft
nice light. So maybe that's why no one was around. Maybe something weird happened. I don't know. But no lifeguard on duty, I think, is fitting for that sort of sentiment. So I like the idea of navy. Navy feels very nautical in New England to me. So let's see. Right. So I'm gonna center this up. So yeah, this typeface is beautiful, and we get to see its uniqueness when we use it at this size too. This GT Sectra.
Oh, nice.
Come in here and we get to
So
see
good.
our strange angles. But so I
To
think
save
we'll
ink.
yeah exactly. I think we'll use I like this smaller. Use our hang line here and then pull. Let's pull a serif. Maybe this.
Sean is asking, are you guys not using a baseline grid? No, not at this stage.
Currently, no. I don't usually use one right out of the gate. For the first little while, you're sort of just looking for your broad strokes and your general look and feel of the magazine. Sorry, that's just...
It was because of the quote.
Yeah, it's because of the quote. I don't really want to deal with
Messed up.
But once we do a couple rounds and we go back and forth with the client and we decide on a really specific direction, then we take the file and we with a fine tooth comb go through and adjust everything to our grid and make sure our systems are aligned, and we'll do our paragraph styles and stuff like that. But for the process or for the purpose of this of this event, I think we get to see more without me fiddling with stuff like that. So. No lifeguard on duty. And what was this?
Good old GT.
Drook text.
Oh, no.
This is Drook, yeah. Got it. So let's see. Maybe that's navy still. Maybe it's red.
Maybe. Does it resonate with
kinda-
New England?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so.
White, blue, red.
Red, white, and blue.
That could
America, and also pretty nautical. We could even go as far as, doing a. What if we did like a fake nautical flag over here? We could. Let's see. Do we want this?
Oh,
Yeah. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Oops, sorry. There we go. What happened there?
No, you changed the stroke of the rectangle,
Oh,
not the line.
I selected the wrong thing?
Yeah.
Typical.
Again, it's the rectangle.
Start over. Oh, maybe it just was a rectangle. It's blue. Let me draw a line. And it's white.
Okay.
Look at that. That's a line.
Yeah, good job.
Oh, is it multiplied, I wonder? That's why we can't see it. There we go. See, I'm a professional, guys. Alright, so if we would do this for real, go into Illustrator and mask
And use
out
the
all of
proper
our...
tools.
Use the proper... Actually, I like how it overlaps like that, actually. See, happy accidents. And we do this a little bit of a pirate.
Yeah.
A pirate action, but
With a weird rotation.
in softer colors.
See the second one.
Mm.
Like this one is okay, and this one is.
Yeah. Just eyeballing it.
I can go small.
Alright. Love it.
Let's
Sweet.
keep it weird.
We're keeping it loose right now. Oh, this might be a good sort of... We have this like blue thing going on. Feels pretty good.
Clint, you have blank dialog boxes, no text at all. Any suggestion?
Blank dialog.
Not good. Maybe InDesign is trying to tell you something, but maybe InDesign is speechless. And it's like, oh. And just click on OK.
Let's grab a credit here.
Did you save?
Did I save?
Yeah. Or you auto save? I mean.
I don't.
Yeah, I'm not worried.
I did in a while.
I'm not worried with InDesign. You still have 10 minutes to submit your business card. Let me check how many entries do we have so far. You know, I have 8.
8. All right. Let's see a couple more.
And Ryan Lowe
Get
is
it in there,
ready,
guy.
having a croissant. So French.
So French. You teach him well. All right.
Ryan will be live with us in about 40 minutes. And Ryan, the computer is on the counter already, if you need it. No pressure.
You might need a computer. All right, so this is shaping up a little bit more. You know, we're going to center some stuff, make stuff a little bit more classic feeling, and I think it'll reflect the content pretty well. Let's say fake flag by me. It's so good, I just wanted to credit it. All right, cool. So we got an opening spread here. We might be missing a little bit of text on the first spread, so we know that it is that it's an editorial feature. What if this becomes less of a thing? Or maybe we get rid of it. What do you think? We might not need it. We might not need it yet.
Not yet. We're not ready.
We're not ready for that. All right, so I think we'll go back, since we've already changed our type style once for the interview, I think we'll go back to our 3-column here. We don't necessarily need to use all
There's
3.
Business question by Kabir. How do you charge for a magazine? Is it page-wise, complete project? Like, he wants them.
Yeah, I would never charge per page because that could really limit you. And 3 pages might take the amount of work that 15 pages do. You never know as per project. I would say a complete project is a good way to charge, or hourly. And sometimes there's a combination of both. Sometimes you charge a project fee, and it has a number of hours associated with it. And then if you go beyond those number of hours, you have a different type of fee that you charge, which is a little bit like overtime, but it's just setting the client's expectations to like, okay, this is what I think it's going to take to get done. Do you agree? And if we go beyond this, I'm not going to be out of money. So it's a good sort of safety net.
Thanks.
But it's really everybody I know that works for themselves charges differently, based on how you work. Some people work really consistently and really fast, so they can charge per project, period, and not worry about too much stuff happening. But people that have a little bit more variance in their working style, it's nice to have that flexibility. Okay, let's see. Got some text here. I might do a lead in here. So let's.
What is a lead in?
A lead in. So before we get into our body copy here, something that sort of introduces the concept. Maybe let's get a good Jaws quote. Let's see. How about this?
It's good because as they are working on in InDesign,
Yeah.
they are all, I have this. And
You're
they're all
having-
like sharing tips,
Yeah.
to fix stuff. Like someone was working and say, oh, it's weird because my text blocks, there is a pink background. And apparently it happens if the font is not installed.
Yeah.
And they fixed it, say, oh yeah,
That's
change
missing.
the font. And awesome.
Maybe too big. So this is just gonna get us into the article, and let's base align these guys. We're pretty close. So we'll do that, and then we'll be on to. Since we got a good amount of copy on the first spread, I think it's safe to do an image only spread. And again, I want to give Kenneth's photos a lot of breathing room. So we'll probably do one per page. Like this guy here. Beautiful lighthouse.
Yeah, and you cannot really see it on the stream because of the compression of the video, but there is a very soft blue,
Yeah, look at that. It looks like it's just
It looks
clipped
completely
out.
white, but it's not.
Maybe let's
is a
let's
very
play
soft
with
blue.
that. Yeah, you can see when it comes over here. There's
Yeah,
some
very
tone.
soft blue sky.
But what if we? Oh, I was just trying to design by looking at this screen. That's kind of crazy.
That's new.
Out of body experience. All right, that's kind of cool. Have it be a little bit bigger, and we can. Let's keep it on the hang line. Got something big there, and now maybe we get. Let's see, something a little more detail. Yeah, how about one of these? So what's nice about both these photos is there is a very center perspective in both of them. So you get one with one object, but then you get a perspective that's kind of following you down the dock
It's
here.
dynamic, yeah.
Yeah. It's hard to see.
Yeah, and
this one's got some
it
sky
creates
too.
a mirroring effect.
Yeah. So what's nice, when you're laying out images on pages, is think about at Hybrid we call it push and pull. So this you can determine what push and pull is for yourself, but this has a lot of white space and it's very focused. And then the image on the other side is not quite as focused and has more into the image. So we get this difference in contrast in composition and also subject to the photo, which helps us create a nice balance here. Which I like that. Okay, and let's do. Get some more text. Oh, I forgot to add our credits here.
All right.
So we can do.
Okay, have about 2 minutes to submit your entry, so make sure to publish it now because it takes some time to upload the business cards. And we will review your business cards in about 10-15 minutes. And if you didn't have time to submit it, it's okay because it will be featured during the next show with Ryan Lowe in about 30 minutes. Dave is asking, any more Adobe XD live streaming? Yeah, there will be one in January 22nd, I think. Yeah. around the 22nd of January. I'm not sure. Check the week. It's always on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays. Yeah, pretty sure it's the 3rd week of January, 3rd or 4th week.
The seagull image is nice. I think that seagull is just looking right into the camera. Okay. Staring at us. He's like, what the hell?
Trying to eat the glitter.
Let's pull some navy. Some blue into this. Is everything set to multiply? Let's see.
Can you usually eyeball the small text like credits to the photos?
Yeah, I mean once we get into our finessing stages, we'll make sure that things are aligned the way they're meant to be. But you know, for example here, you know, sure, caught me a little bit here, but we'll get that one to be right aligned. You know, same thing here on the margin. So in order to like kind of get the ideas out fast, you know, this one's right aligned to the margin here. And since we've changed type styles here and we're going with a centered system throughout, we just center it to the photo here and here. Mm-hmm. So there definitely will be, you know, some tightening up and some measurements once we, like say if we wanted to have this a little bit closer. Once we'd have our baseline grid on, we'd say, okay, we want like 2 baselines of space between the photo here, and we could, you know, do the same rule here if we wanted to. But I actually like how that, how both of these are just locked at the top and bottom a little bit. So for the first, you know, few steps, there is a lot of eyeballing. You know, we have our grid, so at least we're getting close. And then we make a pass and do all of our alignments consistently at the end. So let's pull another one here.
Okay, time out for submitting your entries.
All right.
Oh yeah, we got a lot in the last minute. Now we have 18.
Oh wow. All right.
Okay.
Love it.
So I will load all of them and we'll start reviewing them maybe in 8 minutes because it will take some time, okay?
Sure.
And I want to hear your feedback on
Of course.
On this exercise, which is designing a business cards, because today we ask you to create and share business cards based on a free InDesign template available on Adobe Stock. If you want to participate, you can still participate, and we will review your entry during the next show with Ryan Lowe at the top of the hour. So make sure to check the rules. In the contest tab, it's next to the chat tab and the info tab on behance.net/live. Okay, yeah, I have a lot of tabs now. All of them work. So far they all work. Yeah, you did all a great job sharing design with a publish online feature within InDesign. It works very well.
Nice.
So I know some of you are concerned because it's weird, the images are compressed. I think it's due to the size of the document, of the template, and when you export, because it has been created for small business cards. When it exports, maybe it will compress again the images, but don't worry, we won't judge the quality of the picture. Okay, we will judge the composition, the idea, and you get it. The idea is just to give feedback, talk about design. I mean, it's not really. There is no competition here. Daniel is asking what is the settings for the center gutter drop shadow. just for digital publication. So I think it's more like you judge depending on the number of pages that you have, like you.
Yeah, you mean the settings, like the size of the gutter?
Yeah, the size of the gutter.
Yeah, it's not that important to have it exactly the size. You're not going to know until you sort of like feel a book about the size that you're working on. Just as long as it extends, you can kind of see the tone goes all the way to the almost to the margin.
Yeah.
So then we're keeping stuff out of there anyway. So it's just a good visual reminder of what we're working with.
And once you're done with this page, maybe what we can do is show how to add a simple animation and publish it online.
Sure.
And I guess it will be published when we review the stuff because it will upload the picture, so it can take some time.
Great.
Okay. We're going to need a bigger boat.
Let's see. Let's call out. Stampede.
So Daniel, for print, of course, he would remove the gutter. So it's just a visual helper, just to remember, be careful. Actually, this is for print. This will become a book.
Yep.
So if you place a picture here or text, it will be very hard to read or access.
Got it. All right, I'm cool with this page for now. You want to do?
You good? Yeah, you want to see the... Okay, so maybe before we publish, actually we can remove the gutter, like hide the layer, so we make sure the... Okay, and do we want to animate something on the cover, maybe?
Sure.
No, just create one.
Yeah, let's go with option 2, which is not this one. We'll go with this guy.
Okay,
here.
and we would just maybe just animate these two blocks of text. So you select something.
Yep.
You go in Window, Interactive. Yeah.
Oh.
Again, and animation. That's the first one. And you have pre-built animations, so you can choose a preset and fly from the left, for instance. Here we go. And you can choose the duration if you want it to loop. Play one time, okay, so that's good.
Probably just once, yeah.
Yeah, and maybe click on this one and fly from the right. So just to choose, fly from the right.
Okay.
And that's it. Okay, so you can close this.
Great.
And now what we will do is that we will publish it online. So this is what they did to share with us the contest entry.
Great.
So you click on Publish Online. So it's more a way to share your work with users, customers. Okay. Okay. So yeah, you can give it a title.
Let's say 21st.
And publish a spread. And that's it. Yeah, you can click on Publish. Yeah, so it will prepare the document. It will upload everything. So in the meantime, we can
some
review
business cards.
Some entries. Here we go. So the first one. So let's try to understand, what's happening. So body evolution by Leo, a personal coach. Okay, so.
Great. Yeah, so we get a little some abstract letter forms here. It's nice, some shapes that might be similar to a movement of somebody's arm or leg. Great.
Okay. Here a snowman.
Yep. The CEO is Snow.
With a pattern in the
back. Oh yeah, great.
Looks good.
Cool.
Ibrahim with animations, but we will judge the final product more, okay? Because it's for a postcard.
Let's see, a holographic business card.
Next here, so I guess it's more digital, so he added links, but for print, of course, you wouldn't.
No.
Yeah, you have to display the URL. Okay. Abel Peters,
nice
Netherlands.
and simple.
Yeah, nice and simple.
Great.
Very nice logo.
Yeah, I like the
nice
color.
Identity.
Using a similar one in the magazine. Great.
Maybe you can add a title or something, like just to make sure, because sometimes, like, I guess you're a graphic designer and you're just promoting yourself, but when you give a business card to someone and you have it on your desk and you need to access it like 6 weeks after, maybe you don't remember exactly what was the exact title. So this is something I would add.
Yeah, a little subhead underneath your name would do it.
Yeah, graphic design.
Great.
It's a project on Behance, apparently. Business card challenge. Hi, I'm Lisa Fernandez, Swedish, graphic designer, active in Spain. Wow, okay. Contact Lisa at.
Cool illustrations.
Okay, so this is something, Lisa, I would opt in if this is really your style, like lettering or illustrations. I guess the pattern would appear in the background. But be very careful, like if you're a graphic designer, because the style that you would put on your business card will reflect also your work. So make sure it's in par with your work. This is actually something we can check. And apparently, you are like really good with illustrations and stuff. So yeah,
great.
It's a good match.
Cool.
I think I need to close this one and switch to this one. Graphic design and motion graphics. Okay, which is hard to reflect motion graphics, on business card, of course, because nothing is moving.
A little bit of movement in that.
Okay.
So you go for rounded corners in the business card too, it looks like. So,
Yeah.
Nice custom touch. Cool.
Okay, Lara. Burger House.
Burger House.
Oh, senior
Nice.
executive. Yeah.
Fun.
It's good. This is something that you can easily replicate for all the members of Burger House.
Yeah.
In San Francisco. Good to know.
Executive of burgers.
Steve Barclay, writer, designer. Oh,
Cool.
interesting.
That better be your face, Steve, or else
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's good. I don't know if
Nice.
you really have to do it this illustration on the front and on the back. I think it's
Yeah, it could just be used. You could use it really small on the back, maybe as like a little bug.
Okay.
Sometimes we call it. It could scale down and just be a little detail. That way, you'd have the first read would be your name rather than your face.
and maybe it could be the back of your face. I don't know how we could design it, but
Just
like
the back
you
of
flip
your
the
hair.
back. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be funny.
It's like, oh my god, that's scary.
Yeah, that's pretty scary.
Okay, I mean, it could be Insanity influencers. Wow, that's a scary one.
Steve, did you submit two?
Yeah. Steve, okay. Thanks for sharing. We just called 911 and security, but thanks for sharing. Tyron!
Hey,
Here we
Tyrone.
go. Creative artist. Okay, so investing on the front.
Simpler on the back.
Yeah. Creative artist. Yeah, it's a little bit vague, maybe. Creative artist. I don't really know what to expect with this title, so.
Yeah, something people might understand, a designer or illustrator sort of language.
Or fine
a little bit
arts.
more.
So, and this is technical. Like this will speak to another designer, but maybe not to a customer. Seeing an icon like this. So, character design. Okay, very very clear, Hussein. I know exactly what you're doing, and I see it in the background. You look very very skilled. Maybe there is a way, because I guess that this character design is in color, so maybe you can invest on a simple color on one side and maybe have a full character design on the other side, because you don't have so much information to display.
Yep.
So maybe focus on the information on one side and maybe just have cards for board games. On one side you have your full character, the one you prefer with a full color.
Yep, and then the info on the back.
Yeah.
Yeah, that yellow treatment over the image might be a little tricky in
Maybe
print
dangerous.
too.
Yeah.
Stuff like that goes a little funky and might turn like really orange, or might do some unpredictable things. But I think the blue is nice. Good example.
Oh, nice typography.
Marcus, nice and simple.
design.
Rainbow border.
Yeah, nice border.
Yeah, very cool.
And just a rainbow. Yeah.
Maybe that's rainbow foil, huh?
Ah, Marcus.
There we go. I like that. Even if it's not, we'll pretend.
Daniel Cart, illustration and graphic design. So showcasing 2 illustrations. I mean, that's good.
Oh yeah, Optimus Prime up there.
Again, the logo twice, not sure.
Yeah, if
You know?
you're gonna use your logo twice, I would say try to vary the scale a little bit more, and maybe Can we flip to the next? Yeah, I think you could probably use it a little bit smaller. So the first read on the back of the card would be your name and your email and stuff like that, and then the logo can be a little sign off.
Yeah. And if you give more space to your illustrations, which are awesome, by the way. So. Okay, so this one, this is the front and the back, okay.
Oh,
one
okay.
page.
Yeah, nice mock-up.
Mohan Mavidel, Behance, editorial designer.
Yeah. It almost looks a little more like you might be a UX designer or a UI.
Yeah, with
some
the
of
drop
those,
shadows and
drop
stuff.
shadows and little tabs.
And even the background, the pattern is a bit technical. But the colors, I mean, the composition is really nice. And this is another proposal, I guess, by Mohan. Creating new is new again. Designer. Thanks for the shout out to Creative Cloud. And some colors, yeah. It's tricky, editorial design, it's tricky. But it depends also on the type of publications you do, so why not? Photographer, so displaying a picture. So again, on the business card, this and this, I would be worried because it could be very small, but maybe the front, okay. So photo studio, okay. So what do you want to showcase? A lens, a camera, or your work? It's a question too.
Yeah, I think this makes it obvious that it's photo related.
Yeah.
But it could
maybe two times because photo studio you already know it's photo related.
Yep.
So maybe it's more the opportunity to showcase like this portrait with the two person looks beautiful.
Yep.
And in black and white can be very powerful maybe on the face of the business card.
Yeah, I agree.
Oh, interesting. Okay, landscape.
Librarian.
Oh, with
it's a very classic type treatment. That's pretty nice.
And you can feel, I don't know if you can see it, but
paper
there is some
texture.
paper textures, so you know that Rupert will invest in.
Great, yeah.
Great
Not much
paper.
else you need to say about librarians, right? Pretty simple.
Yeah.
I like it.
Okay, Flatland. What is it about? Okay, so again, make sure to display your title. It can be here. The style is interesting, like it's modern, so I guess it will be matching with what you do.
Could be somewhere in the Midwest, maybe. Flatland
It's,
in the prairies.
It's mysterious.
Yep.
This picture is mysterious. Nobody's there. So maybe add a title because you could be a photographer, you could be a graphic designer. I mean, it's hard to tell.
Yep.
It's hard to tell.
Good start, though.
Wayne Smith, art director, illustrator. Okay, so here's a good example of featuring the work. Like Wayne Smith, I know what he's doing, what type of illustration he can do, just in 1 second.
Yep.
Playing with the
Pretty clear.
typography here, I'm not sure if it's, why not? And more illustrations.
Yeah. Maybe too much illustration.
Yeah.
I think that, showing one hero one on the front or back is a nice focused way to show your favorite piece. But then give your information some room to breathe too on the back.
And what could be fun maybe is to have 4 different business cards, with 4 different illustrations, but keep the same layout.
Yeah,
so
that'd be
you can be more subtle in the back and just focus on the information. Yeah. Good job. Okay, so that's mysterious. Fashion design, Mercury. Okay, it can pixelated, but don't worry about it. Okay, we just try to understand what's going on.
Interesting type.
Okay.
This kind of Art Deco a little bit.
Yeah. So fashion design, I guess. Again, do you want to? So I guess it's the brand, yeah. And if it's really the identity of the brand, why not?
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. I'd like to see how maybe it would come out in print, if it would be actually reflective, or some sort of other material it could use.
And is it something that you recognize also on the cloth, on the fabric?
Right.
You have the same type of effect, then it can become interesting. And that's it.
Great.
Okay, so
lot of good
if there
entries.
is one that you want to reward, because they are all good, but
Yes,
it's more
yes.
about
This is
pointing
hard.
something and say, okay, this is a.
I think I have a top 3
Okay, so let's
we
review
can
the
start
top
with,
3.
and just for my designer
Oh,
sensibilities.
Steve Barkley, actually, it's the same guy who did the
Yeah,
two
I did
proposals.
too.
Okay, I didn't get it.
I think if we go back, there was this one, Abel.
Abel, okay.
is one of my top 3. I like how clean and clear it is. With
Okay,
you know,
so we'll put it here.
we with the addition of maybe your title
Mm-hmm.
underneath, I think that would drive it home even more, so people know what you're getting into. I like the card with the rainbow gradient as well. I think it's a nice. It's also very simple, but you
This
know,
one?
Yep, Marcus. It shows a little bit of, you know, maybe have a more softer, subtle side to their design with some nice type treatment and colors there. And then I also like the librarian card.
Okay, the one which is like
Yeah,
super
yeah.
minimalistic.
Yep, I really like that Rupert is including a little bit of material in the design.
Yeah, it was.
And he's taken some very specific, a time period from his type expiration that sort of denotates this sort of old book style. So I think those are my favorite 3 right now.
Okay.
Man, it's hard to pick.
And it's interesting to see that the 3 you picked are like based on a lot of negative space.
Yes,
and
simplicity.
focusing on just simple information and the purpose of a business card, which is a name, title, and how to contact me.
Correct. You know, it's a little unexpected, but I think I might have to go with Rupert's librarian card.
Okay, so like
Yeah.
really.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like that a lot. Way
Yeah.
to go, Rupert.
That was Haroon.
Haroon?
Aaron?
Cody, yeah.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Well done.
Good job.
I think
And-
it sticks out because it's so simple. And I really like the subtle use of the type and the paper to sort of drive home that sort of that vibe that you have in the industry.
Cool.
So, way
Yeah.
to go.
Good
A lot
job.
of great work, guys.
And I have to say, it was bold to share something so simple.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
sometimes
always,
it's
the
like
simple stuff is
yeah,
the hardest.
Okay, this is it
Yeah,
works.
there it is.
Okay, let's see if we have something published, and then it will be time to say goodbye to our friends. So yeah,
let's,
you can click on View Documents, and let's check the cover. It should be animated.
All
Ready?
right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, nice, faded and out. Great, that looks
And now,
beautiful.
Yeah, and now you can navigate,
15.
share it with
Great.
your friends.
You can read.
You can share it with the photographers actually,
read line. Yeah,
and ask
absolutely.
them, okay, how do you feel?
Yeah, have some feedback as we
Pictures,
go
yeah,
through.
get feedback.
It looks
Instead of
great.
sharing a PDF that you have to open, you know, in the,
Yeah.
because they can also check on their phone, you know.
Yep.
It's just a web URL.
Yep.
But thanks
Love
again, Brett, for this awesome week.
Yeah, thank you
with
guys. It's been really fun. Thanks
Yeah.
everybody out there in the chat.
And thanks for playing the game and
Oh, yeah.
sharing your process live, you know.
Yeah, no
not
problem.
just with some contents.
My pleasure.
Say also thank you to the photographers.
Yes.
Leading
Thanks,
us,
Kenneth and
letting
Brian
us,
and Jake.
using their work, which is
Yeah.
awesome.
Beautiful.
And make sure to follow Brett on Behance. Okay, in the info tab, you can follow him and discover his new project and eventually the flipbook.
Yeah,
one
yeah,
day.
sure.
Featured on Behance, that would be awesome.
Great.
And we will be live. We'll come back live in about 5 minutes with Ryan Lowe and Kathleen.
All right.
And so you
Perfect.
enjoyed the experience.
Thanks again. Yeah, it was awesome.
Okay.
I loved it.
Cool.
Hopefully I can come back.
Yeah, let's do that
Thanks, guys.
soon next year in 2018.
Yeah. Happy
Okay.
holidays, Merry Christmas, all those things.
Yeah, it was awesome. So yeah, stay tuned. We will be back in about 5 minutes with Ryan Lowe and Kathleen. Thanks, everyone.